Hi everyone, today you join me on a walk from Kingston in Dorset, where I came a few weeks ago now. I'm going to be walking to the top of Houns Tout Cliff, which is where I couldn't go last time I came down here because the coast path was closed. And then from Houns Tout Cliff I'm going to be walking along the coast path to Kimmeridge Bay, and then back up onto the tops along the Hardy Way to Swyre Head, and then back through to Kingston. I think it's roughly about 9 miles, something like that. So hopefully it'll be a decent day. Once again, we've had a fair bit of rain, we've had some dry weather, so may get some mud, but hopefully it's going to be a relatively clear day. So hopefully we'll get some decent views. So just broken out the tree cover, starting to get some nice views already. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what that monument's for, whether we'll find out on the way back. There's nothing marked on the map apart from to say it's an obelisk, but I can't see anything to denote what it's for. So if I do find out, I'll put it up on the screen. Anyway, we're looking down this valley, and then over there in the distance is Swyre Head, where you get some fantastic views from up there. But we're carrying along this ridge line now all the way to Houns Tout Cliff, or the top of it anyway. So here we are on top of Houns Tout Cliff. Can't go any further east, the path is blocked off. I was hoping to go and show you Chapman's Pool, but you can't go any further. I'll just spin the camera around anyway, see what the views you can see looking west. It's down there. Basically, we're going to be climbing down this hill, and you can see the two climbers coming up now. I know how tough that hill is. When I did the southwest coast path a couple of years back now, coming up that with a heavy pack was an absolute killer. So we're going to carry on round down there, and then just follow the coastline, and you can just about in the distance make out the Clavell Tower at Kimmeridge Bay, and that's where we'll sort of be turning right and going back inland again, and then eventually climbing up and back round onto Swyre Head to get the view from the top of that hill over there, and then walking back towards the car. Just climbed my first climb of the day. Not a massive one, but enough to get me out of breath. I don't know, I'm guessing probably 60, 70 metre climb, something like that. That's a decent view. Looking down into a bay whose name I forget, but I'll put it up on the screen. And basically we're just going to walk along right on the cliff edge up to sort of those trees over there. Last time I came through this way, when I did the whole coast path walk, I was complaining about how dry and rutted it was. Don't think I'm going to have that problem this time. Somehow, do you? Solves that. There's an awful lot of this sea kale or sea cabbage growing on the edge of the path around here. No idea whether it's edible. I suppose it's like any other sort of kale or cabbage, but yeah, no idea. If any of you do, leave a comment below. Yeah. Been a bit boggy in places, and there's been quite a few diversions, only minor diversions, literally onto the other side of this sort of fence line as we're going along, because the path has crumbled into the sea or slid into the sea. But coming out to a slightly more drier bit now, albeit just as I crest this little bit, you've got I suppose what in the past would have been called a dew pond, basically the base of the hill where the water's all collected. But yeah, thankfully most of the path is sort of drying out a bit now, because I have got a little bit claggy in places. I don't know if you can see the boots, a bit of a mess, but anyway, that's what you've got to expect this time of year. The Clavell Tower is just about coming into view now. That's where hopefully I'll stop for a spot of lunch. But in the meantime, in the sea, there's a few mad bastards trying to do a bit of surfing. Not much of a swell, so I don't think they're having much success. But rather them than me. Can't imagine that sea's very warm. Here's Kimmeridge Bay in all its glory. And looking down the coast path into the Lulworth Ranges. Here's the Clavell Tower. It's all fenced off, always open to sort of go and sit in beside it. out the wind and have my lunch, but I'll find somewhere else. And then we'll be heading up into the hills over there after lunch. So there's the part where I leave the coast path and head on the Hardy Way, now inland. So I don't know how boggy this is going to be. To be honest with you, I'm not sad to be leaving Kimmeridge behind. Full of weekenders, shall we say. I don't know, I've been rude, nasty about them, but lots of people who make lots of noise, just basically get on your nerves. So not pleasant to be around. But anyway, now I've got to fight my way through this quagmire of a field. Gloopy old mess. Get to the edge of it anyway, hopefully it won't be too bad. Blown out my arse. I just climbed up from Kimmeridge village. blowing out my arse. Well, sort of got my breath back because the last little bit of this hill was has levelled out a little bit, but cool, that was quite tough up from Kimmeridge. But we got some fantastic views from up here. Yeah, so that's where we've just come up from this track, and then you can't quite see actually from here, but right down in the valley there is Kimmeridge, and then looking down the coastline into Corfe ranges, and then I can see with my eye, but I don't know whether this camera will pick it out. But anyway, the Portland, and then as we pan round, there's the Clavell Tower. Some of the waterlogged fields you can still see glinting in the sunshine. And then looking over to our next destination, which is Swyre Head. And then we'll be walking from there inland, and where those woods are in the distance is roughly where we've parked the car. And then in the far distance you can look down the valley to, you can't really see Swanage, but that's where Swanage is, sort of in the dip between the two sets of hills, and that's the end of the Purbeck Hills over there, which goes to Old Harry Rocks. And then we've got Corfe Castle in the foreground with Poole Harbour behind it, and then more of the Purbeck Hills and a little bit more of Poole Harbour, and then just behind that hill would be Wareham, and then say more of the Purbeck Hills all the way down back around towards Lulworth. I don't know about you, obviously I live in the countryside, but I can always tell, well certainly people, the DFLs I call them, the down from Londons, or your city dwellers, because living in the countryside, whenever you meet somebody on a footpath, you say hello, hi, or anything, and you know, usually manage to get eye contact. I've passed groups of people today where you can't even get eye contact. I've said hello, and you get, at best you get, and it's, I can totally understand. If you live in a big city, then you can't possibly say hello to everybody you walk past, because you'd just be a sore throat in seconds. But when you come to the countryside, I'm no threat. I might look a big sweaty bag of bollocks, but I'm no threat to you. So if I say hello, please say hello back. Bit of courtesy costs nothing. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you live in a city and think, what's he on about? I don't know. But anyway, to us country dwellers, it's quite odd behaviour. So here we are at Swyre Head. You can get a pretty good view of where we've come from today. So the zoom's packed up on this camera. Yeah, so over there is where we parked the car, and we walked along that ridge line over there. And you can see just over this gorse bush, Houns Tout Cliff. We came down that, and then behind where we are now, and all along the coastline. to the Clavell Tower over there, and then inland and up that steep hill and back along this ridge line. So now we're here. Now all we've got to do is walk along pretty much that fence line, I think it is, along there, not to the obelisk, but we'll cut slightly inland, join up with the road and then head into those woods. It's about another mile and a bit to go. Well, we're just going back towards the car now. I have to say, that's been a thoroughly enjoyable walk. Yeah, it's been muddy in places, but that's what you expect this time of year. But yeah, I've had a few tough hills, some fantastic views. Yeah, okay, one or two spots I didn't enjoy because of all the other day trippers, etc. But you come to a gorgeous part of the country, you've got to accept that. But yeah, no, it's been well worth doing. Let's just have a quick look. What does it say on my phone? How far has it been? Just over 9 miles. So yeah, definitely worth doing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye.